In the past, and the near past for sure, Valve has removed and denied many anime style games ranging from all age releases to adult games on Steam, usually ones that are visual novels and dating simulators, by using the excuse that characters appear underage, or the setting may be a high school setting, so they say that they could be underage. And they have done it again, but this time it was not a game that depicted any sexual acts of characters, and they refused to comment on the game being denied access to Steam, even though it is on GOG. And that speaks miles about the situation. That speaks a lot about this title, because GOG is very specific on what types of content they allow on their platform and what is not allowed on their platform. They are one of the most strict platforms on PC, besides the Epic Game Store, of course, because they do not allow any types of games in these genres. Expression Amrilato is an all-ages visual novel game, and yes, it did have a romance storyline to it, but Valve falsely denied it access to the platform by telling the company that it appears to include sexually explicit content involving minors, yet they did not say what they determined, or they did not give any details or examples of what sexualized the minors or the situation that they're referencing. And of course, because it's Valve, out of all of the companies that it could be, they are of course ignoring the people that tried to release this game. And Valve's employees are not actually responding to any of the emails about the situation either, which is the most frustrating part to all of this. They have such an awful process of how they accept and reject games, and yet they do not even give you the time of day when your game is rejected. And this is not a new situation either. Like we know, I've talked about it so many times. This has happened where Valve has banned titles like this for child exploitation, as they call it, yet they do not actually follow up on the situation. They do not give any details, and of course they do not give you any examples. You would think that they would give you an example of, oh, this is what is against our guidelines, yet Valve does not really have many guidelines. They just accept and reject whatever they want, which also leads to many problems. Valve is full of hypocrites, because games that depict even more than this title does will be accepted onto the platform if it, of course, is by a larger developer that makes them more money. Because all of these companies only care about one specific thing: money. They do not care if they could push a few consumers away from their platform, because these developers, unfortunately, will continue to keep coming back and keep trying to release their games here, because this is one of the platforms that their audience is on. So they hope that their next release will be, of course, accepted, and if it is not, they will continue to try, and it is a very unhealthy process. I remember back at the beginning of the year, Valve was priding themselves on the fact that they've given a place to developers, both large and small, to find an audience for their games. This does not appear to be giving them a place to grow their audience if you are falsely denying their titles. If you are denying their titles over something that you are saying is going on in the game, yet they cannot find any examples of it themselves. And even after they made this statement back in January, they are still on a warpath with content. They are still denying games left and right. Games that, if tagged properly, should be allowed on their platform. A platform like Steam that has both all ages content ranging to adult-only content. This is so disrespectful towards the developers that want to put their games on your platform, but also to the consumers that are trying to purchase from your platform rather than going to your competitors' platforms, because they expect to be able to buy it on Steam, and with no notice they get screwed over at the end of the day, which makes me personally not want to trust them as a platform. There are many other ways that we could purchase games on PC, and now I'm just slowly moving further and further away from Steam, but The problem is because employees can accept and deny whatever they want whenever they want. They can change their minds on something that is supposed to release on the day of release if they wanted to. And they have proven that it does not go through a line of employees either. There is the person that denies it, and then the head of censorship, so we will call them, the person that gives the final acceptance or final denial letter to these people. Honestly, this is just such an awful situation. We have seen so many games go through such a similar situation lately, though, and it's a shame because these are good games that people want to purchase, even if the audience is not large, even if it is not the audience of something like Call of Duty. People still want to purchase these games. There is still a market for them. Allow people to purchase the games. If it is properly tagged, allow it on your site. And I am personally hoping that Top Hat Studios will pick this game up, since the owner of Top Hat Studios sent a tweet their way saying, "Can you please send over an email or a direct message to us over at Top Hat Studios EN? If you can, we can bring this game to our storefront, no bullshit or anything. You will not need any additional assets or anything either, and will offer a better percentage than Steam." This is hopefully a good situation for the developers. I know that it might not be the most ideal because they do have an audience that goes to purchase through Steam, but hopefully this will be another option and another way to purchase the game on PC. But that is all that I had to talk about today, you guys. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to give it a like, and of course, if you did not, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either which way. The links to purchasing the game will be in the description down below, so if you do want to help support this game, I will leave the links in the description. But I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you guys again in the next one really soon.